to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Tuesday, May 6th. It is 6:29 this morning. And Megan, I do have to say, quite thankful for the cold weather you've been giving us, because I guess I'm just crediting you for the weather. So when I'm angry at you for the 80 degrees, you know why?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm just gifting you this cooler weather today just for Amelia. She's returning, so I had to give her this nice, beautiful weather for her. But yes, just as she mentioned, it's a little cooler of a day, especially this morning. Here's a look at those current temperatures as we're sitting in the 40s. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a chillier start to your day, so make sure you're grabbing that jacket as you're heading out. Good news is this afternoon we'll be warming up to a little bit of these spring-like temperatures. However, more of a March, April temperature range as we're looking at upper 60s, low 70s. Normally we sit in the mid 70s for this time of year. Satellite and radar shows a little bit of rain this morning. This is about the heaviest that you'll see today. Looking at some slight chances on and off throughout the day. And when I say slight, I mean very slight. Consider today partly cloudy as you're heading through the next 12 hours with high temperatures as you're heading into that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock mark. Again, upper 60s and low 70s. Amelia.
A man charged in connection with a deadly fire appeared before a judge in Franklin County yesterday. Justin Fields was charged with arson after his 2 sons died in a fire last week. Investigators say a canine detected evidence of accelerants on his shoes at different places within the home and where the 2 bodies were found. Relatives say the boys were 13 and 15 years old. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for next Tuesday. Deputies say more charges could be filed against Fields. In Logan County, West Virginia, 3 people are facing charges after police say they found drugs and cash. After police conducted a traffic stop in the Chapmanville area Sunday, they say they detected an odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle. Police say more than 400 grams of drugs were found, as well as nearly $10,000 cash. Melissa Maynard, Terrence Clifford, and Garland McCraney were taken to the Southwestern Regional Jail. 2 men are facing charges after police found narcotics and cash on them in Lawrence County. Police executed a search warrant at 200 Copper Road in connection to an ongoing drug investigation last week. During their search, police found roughly 4 ounces of meth and marijuana and more than $5,300 cash. A Laurel County man is facing charges after police say they responded to an armed suspicious persons complaint. Deputies were called to Little Arthur Ridge Road Sunday night. When police arrived, they tried to make contact with Leighton McQueen, but he started evading them on foot. Police later arrested McQueen after they found him hiding in a brushy area. They say McQueen threatened them and even struck the protective cage in a police cruiser. The Tennessee teacher who was convicted on several charges of assaulting elementary students will not serve jail time. Joseph Dalton was a former gym teacher in East Tennessee. Last week, he was sentenced to 6 months of supervised probation. He pleaded guilty to charges after surveillance video showed him having inappropriate contact with children. Records show there were at least 6 incidents on Dalton's file. He pleaded guilty to 5 for assault.
My jaw dropped. I was sad for the victim.
We're trying to get justice for the kids. I hope it doesn't continue to happen because he still has his teaching license, and as far as I'm concerned, he could go back into any school system, anywhere, any county, and do the same thing.
The district attorney says because the conduct did not amount to sexual battery, it's only considered offensive touching. When weather disasters hit, oftentimes victims not only see damage to their homes, but they can often lose photos and important memorabilia too. But a program being offered this week is looking to give people back some hope in holding on to those family treasures in central Kentucky. Danny Bernardi with FEMA says they're now introducing the Save Your Family Treasures program, bringing in environmental and historic preservation teams to showcase techniques to salvage a variety of damaged memorabilia. After years of sitting unused, a Hazard Park and Museum is back open. The Bobby Davis Museum and Park closed in 2020 during the pandemic. Now, after extensive cleanup and partnerships with local groups, the space is ready for community use once again. Director of Envision Hazard, Stacy Fugit, says events, exhibits, and rentals are already on the calendar, but the park's future depends on public support.
9 times out of 10, whenever you're applying for grants and things like that, you need to have concrete numbers of how many people are showing up to events or utilizing these spaces. And so by just coming out and supporting events that are held there, that's a number in a grant that you can contribute to, even if it's just you showing up.
Reservation for summer events at the park are now open. It sits on Walnut Street, located in a residential area overlooking downtown Hazard. Transportation cabinet officials say folks should plan for delays on a section of Kentucky 15 later this week. Crews with Kentucky Power will be installing overhead transmission lines at mile point 22.1 tomorrow. Officials say traffic stoppage of up to 15 minutes between 9 in the morning and 5 in the evening are likely in northern Perry County. Transportation officials are also reminding folks that Kentucky 3193 in Breathitt County will be closed throughout the day until Friday. The road will be closed from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening for pavement repairs. Drivers can use Kentucky 205 as an alternate route. Transportation cabinet officials say crews will perform a bridge inspection in Laurel County later this week. That's scheduled for Wednesday on the US 25 bridge over Rockcastle River. The work is scheduled for 9 in the morning until 2 in the evening and will result in traffic being reduced to 1 lane. May is Stroke Awareness Month, a time to get familiar with the signs and symptoms of a stroke. A stroke happens when a blood vessel that's delivering oxygen and nutrients to the brain becomes blocked by a clot or it breaks open. As a result, that part of the brain then loses blood and oxygen, causing the brain cells to become damaged or even die. When someone is experiencing a stroke, the best thing you can do is get them to a medical professional as soon as possible.
Every second that we delay care, we lose 1.9 million brain cells. That's a lot. So cell damage is happening inside the brain. Treatment windows are closed. Recovery and outcomes are poor. So 911, call every single time so that we can take good care of you.
According to the American Health Association, a stroke is a leading cause of death and disability in the states. In Kentucky, stroke is the 6th leading cause of death. The Patty A. Clay Auxiliary in Richmond is preparing for its annual charity ball next month. The night features food, drinks, and celebration, with the focus being on raising money for Baptist Health Richmond. PACA volunteers host events like the charity ball to raise money to support the welfare of patients and staff at the hospital.
And the money stays right here, which is so rare and so important because we've been able to add so many neat and special, just over-the-top patient experiences.
Money raised from past PACA charity balls went toward the hospital's maternity ward and beautification projects. The ball will be hosted June 21st. Yesterday, the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources auctioned off hunting and fishing equipment. These are items that were either in surplus or confiscated during investigations. Items range from crossbows, guns, and stands to ATVs and pickup trucks. The auction gives people a chance to buy discounted gear that they could use for work or even at recreation.
No, it's actually my first auction. Yeah, so this is a really good experience, trying to really gauge the market and see how the process goes. I know there are more later in the year. There's going to be another one later this year, so I'll be coming to that. But this one will give me some good, good educational experience.
The auction was outdoors at the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife headquarters in Frankfort. Anyone can bid on surplus items, but only Kentucky residents can bid on the confiscated items. Everyone who buys a firearm must also pass a background check. Administrators with the Wayne County, Kentucky School District are mourning the death of a student. In a letter put out by the school, it says Caroline Alvarez died from injuries in a car crash last week. Alvarez was a 4th grader at Monticello Elementary. Officials say counselors and support staff were at the school yesterday and will continue to be there for the next few days.
As you're heading out the door this morning, we do have some pretty low visibility. Here's what you need to know. Seeing some patches of dense fog, especially towards Pulaski, Jackson. And as you're traveling just south of our region, it'll be moving north towards Jonesville. So drive safe if you're out there on the road encountering any fog in the region. Here's a look at the rain chances that we're seeing this morning. As we go towards our Virginia counties, that's where you'll have the highest chance of seeing some rain with some very slight chances of rain as you're heading throughout the day. Pretty much a partly cloudy day in store. Forecast highs are in the upper 60s and low 70s. Warmest temperatures 71 for Jacksboro, Middlesboro, Manchester, and Grundy. Coolest as you're traveling towards Wise, 64 degrees. Here's what you need to know as you're heading off to the bus stop. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s on the way to school with those dense fog patches and those chances of rain by the time you're heading home. Still see those very slight chances of rain with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Amelia.
It's 6:40 and we have more mountain news on the way. True believers headed to Tennessee this past month discussing their passion for the mysterious Bigfoot.